to my channel. Last video we tried to carry on the first task, which is supposed to be your shell navigation. And then if you look at your project, the second thing you will be expected to do after that is your Emacs. So we're going to work on that today. Let's open the project. Now, if you look at the project here, we have the resources. If you open these resources, it's going to give you a guide of what you're supposed to know about Emacs. Now, the basic thing about Emacs is to learn about their shortcut keys, how to use them. That's all. Just like in your MS Word, you have Control A, copy all, Control C. Control A, select all, Control C, copy, Control P, print, and the rest of them. We have a similar thing in this Emacs. Now, you realize that in Microsoft Word, all letters A to Z has its function regarding control plus the letter, but it's not everything we use in our daily activities. So the same thing is applicable to Emacs. Okay, if you look at this, there are lots of definitions here we need to know, but to me it's not really important. I'm going to show you the one that is essential to ALX and essential to everyday tasks you're going to be working on when you go for C and other aspects of ALX. All right, I've made this available. These are the basic ones that probably ALX will demand from you, few of this. And out of all these shortcut keys or the commands we need to use in Emacs, the basic one that you use almost every day is the one that is flagged with red color. Your self-active file, your quit, exit, undo, paste, go to, line. So about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably one or other two, like 7, that's all. Okay, that was that. Let's go back to our project now. What you're expected to learn or to know in this regard is just this few things. First, what is Emacs? Like I said earlier, Emacs is a text editor. The second thing here is, who is Richard Stallman? Well, I know Richard Stallman is someone who collaborated or who fought to ensure that software was made distributed for anyone to have access to. But to get that better, you can simply go online and type who is Richard Stallman is written here, and then you can have details of who that man is. You want to read his citation. I don't think that's really important. The next thing is how to open and save files in Emacs. Okay, I have listed that here. Open file, save file in Emacs. It's written here. So the next one is what is a buffer and how to switch from one to the other. We're going to take time to do all this one after the other. Now let's go straight to the project. Navigate to root and create a directory called 0x02 Emacs. And we click on our sandbox, web time, and then we cd, that's to our root directory. I'm sure you can still remember this. The directory. The second thing we need to do is to create our directory called 0x02 Emacs. I've done that before, so I'm not going to create the same thing. Rather, I will make directory. I'm going to call mine Emacs training. Okay. After that, the next thing here is to check your code. That's very simple. You're done with the task. If you create your 0x02 Emacs, once you check your code, it will automatically show you done. That means you're done with task 0. Task 1, they said, write a command to open a file from within Emacs. Now look at this. You have to write your answer into the file root/0x02 Emacs/opening. So what you'll simply do there is to come here and say cd into your Emacs. Remember your own is 0x02. Then I'll create a file called opening. So I touch opening. Okay. Now for me to use Emacs into this file, I'll simply type Emacs, that's the name of the editor, and then type opening. hit enter key. It now takes you to the space of Emacs. Look at the question. It was write the answer into this file called opening. Now, how do you open a file in Emacs? Let's look at that. If you come here, opening file is what? CXCF. Control X, Control F. The C is for the control and the M is for alternate. Okay, you'll come here and write capital C minus X space capital C minus F. That's the key to save in Emacs. Now, for you to save and exit here, you press the Control key, you press the X. While still on the Control, you press S, and then you now press Control X, Control C. Control X, Control S stands for save, and Control X, Control C stand for quit the Emacs environment. Okay. Now, if I want to find out if that file is present in opening, I'm going to use what we call cat. Cat means show me the content of a particular file or folder. If I say cat opening and then hit enter, you realize that we have CXCF right here. Now, you're supposed to have a line spacing. So for you to do that, we go back to the file by going back to Emacs. Then we type the opening again. When it opens, you take your cursor to the end by pressing your end key and then hit enter just once. Then you can save your file. Control X, Control S, Control X, Control C. If you cut again, opening, you realize that you have the CXCA with a line break. Okay, that was it about that very project. Let's look at the next one we have here. Saving. How do you save in Emacs? You follow the same process by changing your directory to your Emacs training. Of course, your own is going to be 0.02 Emacs. Then you touch what you call saving, SAVING, enter. Then you now Emacs into saving. Okay, now when you Emacs into saving, you write the code for saving, which is control, that's C minus X space C minus S. That is how to save file in Emacs. Let's confirm that. If you come here, you'll see Control X, Control S, save active file. Control X and S means save all. You can choose any of that too. The checker will check for you. Okay, then you hit your enter key, and then Control X, Control S, Control X, Control C. If you cut savings, of course, you'll see a file there. Now, we are done with that very one. Now move to the next one called cutting. Now, what is the command to cut an entire line? Let's go back here. If you come here, look at this, Control K, cut this line. So the command to cut the line is Control K. So I'll simply go back to my terminal. Now, there is something else I want to show you. There's a shortcut to all these things. If you don't want to use Emacs into savings into that, you can use what they call echo and smaller echo space. Now, when you say echo, what is the file? What is the file that you want to write into the cutting? Remember, you want to write it into cutting. So, what is the command line? It's going to be Control. It's going to be Control K. All right, but you will put this Control K in a quotation mark. That's the file, that's the command you want to write into the file, cutting, then space, use your greater than sign, then cutting. This simply means that I'm writing this C minus K into cutting and then hit enter. Now remember, I've now gone into Emacs to actually do that, but I'm using a shortcut key to give the solution to that problem. So if I type something like cut and then cutting, enter, of course you can say Control K here. So you can choose to use this format, or you can choose to go through the process of going through Emacs editor. It's still the same thing. All right. That's just very simple things you can do at any time. The next one here is pasting. How do you paste in Emacs? Okay, let me get back here. I think it's Control Y. It's very simple. Look at it here, Control Y. So I go back here. I can simply do the same thing by writing echo and then C and then Y, then pasting. Okay. Go back. What's the next one? The next one here is searching. How do you search in Emacs? Okay, I come back here. Oh, sorry, I did not put searching command, but it's simple. It's Control S. So what you simply do is to write echo and then Control S, and then that was supposed to be called searching. We go back. Let's see what's the next command. What's the next? We are asked to find out what's the command for undoing. Okay, we go back here. What to undo is right here, Control XU. We go back here and then you write our echo C minus X and then space U. Then we put it as undoing. Okay. The next one here is what is the command to quit Emacs? Okay, let's check here. How do we quit? Control X, Control C. So we go back to our terminal and then we echo Control X, Control C, and then it's called quitting. Ensure there's a space here. Enter. All right, that's all. Then you go back to check your code and everything is done. You're done with that very task. But however, if probably like I said here that you were asked to write a code for searching, and unfortunately I didn't include that in my commands, the little commands I put forward to you, you can simply go to your browser and then type Emacs command. Just Emacs command, enter. Once you do that, just click here, physics.ucsb.com. Now look at the commands here, buffer and file commands. Control S is used to find file, and then Control X, Control S is used to save the buffer that save the file. Control XK is used to kill the current buffer. Control X4B is to split Emacs window in two. So these are basically some commands that you need to know. I'm not saying everything, but some commands you need to know. There are a lot of commands in Emacs. That's so much. Okay. Now that is just about the ALX problem. But in terms of what you're going to be facing on your daily basis, you need to know this very command. M, that's for alternate G, and any number here. Now, why do we need to know this command? Sometimes you're going to write codes that is up to like 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 lines. And probably you have a problem along the line that you need to correct in line 14 or thereabouts. So you don't need to be going down. Let's just say, let's have assuming something like this. Let's call Emacs. Then let's call the file to be try. Let's go inside here and then type some code that is going to be like 5 or 6 lines. Okay, let's say in here we have some lines of code. Let's assume we have like 10 lines. Let's call this is line 1. And then this is line 10. All right. Now we notice that our line 1, there's an issue. There's no H there. Okay, and then you want to edit this very place. Now, normally you're supposed to use your cursor, your mouse to come and click here, but it's not actually going to work because in your Emacs editor environment, mouse is not going to work. So you can use your navigation cursor on your keyboard to go up, go left, go right, and then come down. But let's assume you have something like up to 20 lines of code or 100 lines of code. It's going to take a lot of time to scroll up till the line you want to edit. So hence you can use the alternate G and then G again. If you look at your buffer, here is called your buffer. You will see that your alternate G and G changes to go to line. Then I want to go to line 1, simply type 1 and then hit on enter. Wow, your cursor is going to go straight down to line 1. Then I can edit my code here and then add my H. Okay, you can do the same thing. Probably I want to go to line 9. I simply press my alternate G, then G, press 9 and then enter. It goes straight to line 9. Right, that was pretty cool and pretty simple. Now let's say we want to copy the line 9 to line 3. All right, so what you'll simply do is to mark our region. We press our control and the space bar. Then you use your right navigation cursor to select that very line. All right, when you're done selecting I want to copy, in Emacs you use alternate and W. That's for copy. Then I'm now going to go to line 2, alternate G, G2, and then enter. It takes me to line 2. Then I'm going to press the N key to go to the end of that line, and then I press my enter key to give me another line. So to paste is Control plus Y. Wow, the line, this is line 9, is now pasted. That's pretty simple to do. There are other lots of commands you can actually work with, but I think those are the basic ones that you really need to know for a start. You can discover some later. Okay, that's what I have to explain in this video. In our next video, we're going to look at how to work with the VI. But for now, I'll see you in my next video. Ensure you subscribe to this channel. See you later. Bye bye.